Right, exactly. So let's talk a little bit about this. So the idea came to me yesterday. I remember looking on Twitter, and I saw that you posted some stuff about being at WordCamp, and that you were just ridiculously excited about doing WordPress stuff. And I was like, that's great, especially coming from somebody who's not a developer, you're not a designer, you're a marketer. And it's like, oh, this is perfect, right? Is marketing the right term here? I don't want to defend.
I don't know. I mean, maybe a marketer would say no.
Okay.
I call myself a Twitter nerd.
A Twitter nerd.
I have niched out.
Awesome.
I'm a Twitter nerd who just recently started writing about plugins.
Well, yeah, and
really bizarre.
And I think that's awesome because you're providing the perspective of the customer, not of
right.
Which I'd imagine they're probably hooking you up with a copy of the plugin. You play around with it a little bit. You read the documentation on how they do it.
No, I didn't even know there was documentation until like 2 weeks ago.
Nice. So
I told you I just do stuff and then figure out what I did wrong later.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're doing here. So the whole idea here is that I wanted to spin this up because I love trying to just build something on a deadline. Just kind of take something, say, let's do this tomorrow, and then build the thing. So a little bit of a backstory for me, I built this thing for a WordPress site, also a Twitter thing, and kind of all these things at once for going to Disneyland. While you're at Disneyland, you overhear somebody say something funny, stupid, whatever, and then you tweet about it, you use a hashtag, and then I had a Twitter bot that would, kind of retweet your stuff, collect it all, and then put it on the website. Well, I built that entire thing while I was standing in line at Disneyland with horrible internet connection and all that stuff.
Jones.
Yeah, it wasn't Indiana Jones because there's no internet on that ride. But I was standing in line and I was like, oh, I should do this. And my wife's like, oh yeah, go build it. It'd be fun. So I love building stuff like that. So I was just sitting here and I was thinking, that'd be pretty cool if I could do something like Watercooler, but it's just, me and one other person, and we can kind of work this through. And so I was looking on Twitter. I'm like, perfect, Bridget. I wonder if she would do it. So I hit you up and you're
wondering if you'll invite me back.
I hit you up and I was like, okay, let's see if she's interested, if she'd even want to do this, because it's perfect because you come from the perspective of the end user. Where on WP Watercooler, we are, we're the ones that are doing the stuff. We're the ones that are building, the technologies that people are going to be purchasing from us and then using. So I thought it'd be a really cool idea to get someone like me, someone like you, and get us together. Now, a couple days ago, So a couple days ago, I hopped on Blab, and I had my first experience on Blab. I've watched a few different ones. But my first experience actually kind of hosting one. So I was like, I'm at home. I'm waiting for my iPhone to show up. I just ordered an iPhone. I'm waiting for it to show up. And the UPS driver hasn't showed up yet. I probably have about 5 hours to kill. Ask me anything about WordPress. And I kid you not, 5 hours worth of...
Did you really do 5 hours?
I did. I didn't record any of it. But we just sat there and talked for 5 hours about all sorts of stuff. While I'm sitting here, I had another monitor. I was sitting there working on a website. I'm chatting with a couple people that were on here. And it was just hilarious because it's like I'm answering questions while I'm working, which is pretty much what I do at work anyhow. Is I'm trying to work and these people keep bothering me. And I'm trying to
print.
Exactly. So my day gig is doing both WordPress web development as well as I work at a church and I take care of all their IT needs at the church. So for a fairly large church with all of the people that work there, I take care of all of the stuff that happens there. About 100 different users that ask me about everything. Yeah, so, it's crazy.
I don't want to be you when I grow up.
So it was really nice to be home and to wait for the UPS guy and then answer a bunch of questions about WordPress until I had one troll that showed up towards the end of it, and that got me really mad. But yeah, that's kind of what I did. So tell me a little bit about you, because I know a little bit about you, but I don't know exactly what you do for your day-to-day job and all that sort of thing.
Well, officially, I'm the office manager for Riggins Construction.
Okay.
And I just started also doing the marketing and social media and the website building and everything else. If If it's on the internet,
Yeah.
I did it. I
So-
wrote it, and I made the graphic or whatever.
So you work for
Yeah.
you work
I work for a general contractor. I have a day job, and
Yeah.
but people ask me questions like you, not the same questions, clearly. So I started my blog, You Too Can Be a Guru, as a joke, because they're like, oh, you're the guru. And I'm like, anybody could do this. It's not that hard.
Right.
But then if I'm going to teach one person, I'm teaching the whole world, because I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
So I just could send links out. It's a lazy way of teaching, but now here I am on a show with Jason Tucker. What?
Awesome. That's awesome. So we have actually asked some questions. We went out on Twitter and said, hey, who wants to ask some questions, and what type of questions, what type of things do you want to ask us? And then hopefully we'll be able to help out. So we always have these these standbys that happen on Watercooler where people will either send us an email, or they'll talk to us on Twitter, or they'll just, I don't know, I get all these weird things on Facebook and what have you. And they always ask the same exact questions, like, what do you use for forms? What do you use for, e-commerce? What do you use for this? What do you use for that? What do you use for landing pages? Just like all these types of things that most of them I do myself, but landing pages, I'm not a marketing person. I just make a page and I put a link on the bottom of it and say, click here. And
so then they land there and it's a landing page.
or a squeeze page, which I'm just like, what is that? I mean, I know what that is, but I don't really know why you would. I don't know. That's like, for me, that's
usually metric oriented.
Right.
People want to measure what they're doing.
Yeah. So that was one of the questions that I had a couple days ago when I did this the first time. Somebody was like, so how do I build a squeeze page? And I'm like, I don't know. I'd imagine you download a squeeze page plugin, you install it, and then you hit the go button, right? But I don't build those types of things. I work at a church. We're not trying to send anybody into becoming a Christian or anything like that. That's not the way that thing works. So what about forms? What do you use for forms? Have you ever made a form?
I don't have a form. We just tell them to email us.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
For us, okay, listen, let me give you some information. We still use a fax machine.
Okay.
So it's wherever your clients are, right?
Wherever your clients
They're
are.
not filling out a form.
Yep.
You're just lucky they emailed you. Let's talk in reality.
And that's when they saw the email address on the screen, and then they went, okay, let me write that down real quick. And then they went to their email.
I made it blue, Jason.
You made it blue. That's awesome. You basically.
Oh, that's what I tell. So my husband's 78, so even as techy as I am, which is clearly not as techy as you are, and I do say, go to the word file.
Right.
Oh, do you see the black apple? What's the next word? The word after that's file. Okay, so that's my version of IT. Okay, that's as bad as it gets. But still, I mean, people they're not doing that. Okay, so you have to make it easy. If it's not easy, they're not doing it.
Right.
So it has to be clickable, and then fill in the subject or whatever. But mostly they call a general contractor. They want to talk to you. They want to know if they could trust you. They're not filling out a form.
Yeah.
And they're not 20-year-old millennials who want to do it from an app.
Right.
So I'm just saying, you got to figure out who your demographic is.
Could you imagine if they wanted to if they were like, I looked for you on the App Store and I couldn't get a hold of that contractor company. Sorry, are you kidding me? No way that would ever happen.
That's a genius idea. That could be the way to get ahead.
Is to build an app that just has a big button that says dial, and you hit the button and it just calls you.
Yeah. There you go. That's $1 million idea, and you heard it here first.
Yep. I'm patenting that thing right now. Well, if you were to use a form, the one that I would suggest is something like Gravity Forms. And if
I hear that a lot.
You never use Gravity Forms, it's actually a pretty awesome thing. You can build some really cool stuff with it, including putting together like a quiz if you wanted to, or doing a kind of a weird little mashup of things, like what do they call those where you have a sentence and you have these missing words and you have to fill
Mad Libs.
Mad Libs. You can do something like that. So there's all these different ways of kind of building these things out. And when you do it, the person fills in the information, they hit the submit button, and then it says, thank you for, submitting your information. And then you get an email on the other end of it.
Sure. And
then there's other stuff you can do with it too. Like, for instance, you could sell stuff through that form. So the person could fill out the information, go at the very bottom, say, I want to buy my book or whatever, and they'll click on it. And then you can shoot them an email with the PDF of the book or something like that. So there's a bunch of things that you could do with forms that are pretty nifty. What do you think?
I mean, it sounds good. For me, I've had no use for it. Everybody wants me to make an ebook for myself. I'm like, it's on my blog. Why do I have to do more work? I don't get this. I already wrote it.
Well, I guess the thing is that the only way that you could really do that is by coming up with a way that you could sell memberships or something like that to be able to get into your website or something.
I hear Chris Lema did a whole series on memberships.
Yep, he sure did.
So if you want to figure that out, go to his blog at chrislema.com. This is not being sponsored.
Oh, it's being sponsored. Just kidding. It's not being sponsored whatsoever.
Can you tell I heard a lot of commercials growing up? I did used to want to be a DJ, so you might be in trouble here. I'm spinning the hits.
I love that what Coder Guy said in here. He says, imagine if the iPhone could make calls. That would be a killer app.
That is a killer app. I try not to ever accept a phone call.
Really?
Well, yes. I talk on the phone all day long because I answer the phones. And I talk to cold callers and everything. So I'm usually getting hit up. Sometimes I just start talking to them. How are you? How's your day? My sister told me to say, what are you wearing?
Wow. Well,
I think 3 times a day I get a call from the Google Maps update saying I haven't cleaned my place of space.
Wow.
I'm like, yeah.
This is why I bribe the people in the front desk to not send me those calls. I'm like, hey, so
they're the worst. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I keep you from having to talk to anybody.
Ugh. Oh, hey, Greg Taylor. Good to see you, man. You want to hop in and say hi for a minute? You can if you want. Or I'll even unlock the seat if you want to jump in
seat. Here. It's the hot seat.
Ooh, okay. Hey, how's it going?
What's going on? Boy, this looks really dark. Hold on.
Yeah, that's the problem with 7:30. I need more lights. I mean, I got the makeup and camera going on, but I need the lighting person.
I have the makeup and camera lights going on right here.
Oh, I saw a blog post about those.
Yeah, they're awesome. These are
I need to get that.
These are the OTT lights. OTTLITE. They're awesome.
Hit that up in the show notes, Jason Tucker.
No problem.
That's awesome. So I hopped on because I'm looking to set up a WordPress site. I want to do. Am I getting an echo?
No, you're fine.
Okay. I want to do so I've started this idea of whole food plant-based diet. I did it myself and I've lost about 65 pounds.
Wow, congrats.
Wow.
And so what I really want to do is start a blab show where I just cook every night, in front of the camera, kind of tell people about what I'm doing and then just repost that to WordPress or whatever.
YouTube?
Well, no, have the art, have it kind of all aggregating to a WordPress site. Maybe repost it on YouTube as well. But I don't know.
If you host it on YouTube, you can aggregate it on your WordPress site using Foo Video, which is a new extension by Foo Plugins.
Foo Video, okay.
Yeah, Foo Video is pretty cool.
Look at me, sounding like a smart person. No, I just did that for my videos. You can import a whole playlist. It's super awesome, worth every dollar of $29. I love Foo.
And let's say if you didn't want to do that, you could even just paste the URL to the YouTube video straight in the middle of your blog post, as long as there's.
I'm comfortable with like HTML and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been programming a while, so.
Well, for site speed, they usually recommend that you don't host it on your site, that you put it on Vimeo or YouTube, and then embed it on your WordPress site.
Is that what you're still thinking of doing?
Definitely not going to be doing like video hosting. I understand that's complicated. My real question is like, what are like the core plugins that you recommend that somebody set up with WordPress?
Ooh, the core plugins.
Well, I'm thinking of using WP Engine as my host.
They're an awesome web host.
So I'm a programmer and I understand all this stuff. I just don't want to mess with it. I just want it to work. Like,
if I can do it, anybody can. That's the moral to this story.
Yeah. But I'm really looking for like. Also, are there any iPhone apps for creating WordPress content?
Yeah, WordPress.com actually has their own, or sorry, WordPress.org has their own WordPress app that you can use to be able to put in your own content, including taking pictures on the go and uploading them, have them just kind of sit there, and then you can, pull those into a blog post, draft it, and then later on, when you get to some place where you have a halfway decent computer or something, you can edit it and post it, or you just post it right then and there.
Plus, it makes it easy to respond to comments. I think it integrates with Jetpack.
Yeah, sure does for all the stats and stuff.
Look at that.
So one of the things that you can do if you go over to the WordPress plugin directory is that you could actually look up.
I feel really bad saying this. My kid just woke up. I gotta put him back down. I'll be back in just
no problem.
Well, we'll tell you some more stuff that you have to have while you're gone. Just watch it later. So you guys had a water cooler about this. You need something for a backup.
Let's see
you need
here.
a backup one.
Try to pull it up here real quick. Yeah.
And let's see if I can remember because I watched that one. And
it was like WPwatercooler Essentials.
I have Yoast SEO. I think that was one of the ones for the rich pins, not for the yellow light that judges me as if I didn't go to college.
Right.
No, seriously, that plugin those lights need to go away because it makes me cry every time. What the hell?
Episode number 153 was our Essentials plugin spot. Can you hear the car?
Yeah, somebody's car alarm's going off, and I think it's probably you. It's cool. It's adding some flavor.
Exactly. Well, you would think that they would stop after a while, right? But
nobody listens to car alarms. That's the whole point. It's like a notification from the 90s that nobody cares about.
Yeah. It just makes.
Oh, look, there's Adam. Hey, I just plugged Foo Video, Adam. So it's super awesome. And Jen is supposed to teach me how to use SEO so it doesn't hate me anymore. I forgot we were supposed to do that. Thanks, Jen. I forgot there's all these people talking to us. We're supposed to be talking to them.
So that stupid car that's making noise outside is actually my wife's car, and it won't stop. It just keeps going.
Usually, if you put this is a different kind of chat.
Yeah, now we're talking. No, I got to change the topic. Now we're talking about cars.
In the door.
Yeah, see, I did, and it didn't work. So, yeah.
No, if you put the key in the door and turn it in the driver's side door.
Put it in the driver's side door.
It's like WordPress, only different.
Are you saying that there's a plugin for that?
It's exactly like WordPress. That is the plugin.
All right, Jen.
There was some other questions.
Yeah, Jen asked something up here. Where was it? Oh, yeah. What are some questions to ask before deciding whether to create a website or an app?
Does anybody want your app?
Is it going to be?
No, seriously. We've talked about this a lot at SMMOC. And I don't want another app. I mean, my friend Julie and I were at lunch, and she couldn't even take another picture because she had no more room on her phone. It was ridiculous. She could not take a picture. So if your app isn't going to be the best thing that changed my life,
it better be like
forever.
Instagram.
And I have to have it. Just make a website mobile responsive.
Yep.
Boom, done. End of story. Save yourself $40,000.
$40,000. That's a lot of money.
I don't know what it costs.
Bridget is making $40,000 apps. Is what's happening here.
I wish. Are you kidding me? I would have been inviting you on this show.
Oh man, that's nuts.
Oh, you're
so for me,
Larry.
I don't know, an app, like for instance, the church that I work at, we have an app. People use it because they're that particular like kind of those types of people that, how do I say this without sounding weird? It's like people are so accustomed to using apps that they want to use an app. So they don't even go to the website. They just go on and do a quick little search on their phone to see if they have the app that I'm at Sprouts. Do I have a Sprouts app? It's like, I guess that's the kind of thing that these folks are doing.
I think younger people. I think younger people think that way because I think what's their website say? And what are you going to update
So I guess
most?
the thing is
your app
sure
going
that
to
your
be
website
updated?
doesn't have Flash or something like that doesn't work on your not so mobile friendly website. The last thing you want to do is to pull out your phone and go, why can't I? Wait, I don't even have the phone number because the phone number is part of the Flash, embed. It's like that sort of stuff. It's like, forget it. So yeah, have a mobile responsive site. So to kind of answer Jen's question here of, to decide which one to do, I'd start with the website. I mean, that's going to hit more things than just doing an app. Obviously, I wouldn't like build the next Instagram with a website because you just have a bunch of selfie pictures of people like they're doing right now, sitting at their computer going, okay, I'm gonna take a picture. Now I'm gonna take another picture.
Oh, got 5 hours to waste.
Exactly.
I mean, with anything, even when people ask me, should I be on Twitter? Should I be on Pinterest? What are you going to use it for? It's just like a purse. I don't use the same purse that I take to a wedding that I take to WordCamp. They're different purses. They have different utilities. They have different purposes. So that's for the girls in the crowd. I don't know what happens with men. Maybe it's a shoe thing, but you got to consider what the utility is and who is going to be your user. So if it is a bunch of millennials and you want to get them to start surfing or something, then make an app. But if it's about recipes,
well, if it's about recipes, then make sure it works on the iPad. Make sure it works on an iPhone. Make sure it works on Android.
There you go.
Make sure it works on Kindle or whatever. Like any of these types of things, just so you could actually access it. And that's where
that's kind of the important part, right?
Yeah.
The content. So that's where I am. I'm like, if you don't have the good content, nobody gives a crap. So that's the whole game.
Exactly.
I got a little passionate right now. I'll just tone it down now.
That's like Bridget Rage.
If a tree falls in a forest and nobody's there to download your app, doesn't matter.
So another question here was, when is it appropriate to custom code a theme, and when is it better to customize a prepackaged theme? Bridget, this is all you.
I was just in Media's class, and she said, don't do that. And then after that, Matt Cromwell said,
totally do it.
You can make dinosaurs, but you shouldn't. It was, OMG, I can make dinosaurs. So both of them together at WordCamp LA, I don't know how fast those videos will be up, but basically they said, if you want to change stuff, make a child. Don't change the parents, only change the child. Because of the whole updating and security and stuff like that, you don't want to be messing with that. Let those people worry about fixing all their little buggy things, and then change all your whatever you want to change in a child theme.
Yeah,
that's what I got out of those two classes. Don't mess with Texas.
And if you need to know how to do a child theme, most themes are kind of child theme capable, I guess is what you would call it. And there's some instructions I posted in the chat here. So if you wanted to take a look at that kind of explains you how to do child themes. But the main idea is that with a child theme is that when you're starting out with the theme itself, you don't want to modify the actual theme that you downloaded, because if you modify it and then the author makes a new version of it, it'll download and then it'll wipe out all of your changes that you just did. Especially if you didn't go about with best practices of building a plugin that has all of these extra little features kind of tied into it or something like that. Where most people, they just want to make the header blue instead of green. And so they go, how do I do that? And if the person that developed the theme did it right, you can go into like the customizer or something like that, make the changes within that. If not, then you have to learn a little bit of CSS and how to overwrite some CSS. That's fun too, you know? So I think use a child theme.
Yeah, and that they say also made kind of a big deal about your theme should be kind of minimalistic, and anything you want to do something should be a plugin.
Yep.
And then those people are responsible for updating their stuff. So to me, what I got out of it was let all these developer geeks be responsible for their own stuff and don't mess with it.
And hopefully the thing that you picked is hopefully the thing that you picked to do it is set up so that, how do I put this? Like if the plugin sucks at some point and you want to actually go and start using a different plugin, you can ditch the first plugin and jump into the second plugin with no problems. So you would hope.
Right. Well, the guy before that class, Dustin Meza, was talking about updating at WordCamp LA, which we were just at last weekend. He said, if you have a problem with a plugin, disable all of them, then start enabling them one at a time so you can, about the
just kind of narrow it down.
Troubleshoot or whatever you want to call it. But so if something's broken, then you could just one by one figure out who is the culprit. Where were you at 10 o'clock last Saturday night?
I swear I wasn't logged into the computer. But yeah, that's the exact way to go about it. See, come on, you've been picking this stuff up.
I'm learning stuff. It's shake and bake, and
all we gotta get you to do now is to make a form, and you should be okay.
Oh man, that's kind of scary. Let's just work on food video right now. That's what I
install WooCommerce, start selling a bunch of stuff, write your ebook in a PDF. We'll be good to go.
Yeah, maybe. It's been fun writing about these plugins because that's sort of forced me to learn.
Yeah.
Like I had to learn how to get the Google API for Google Places reviews.
Oh boy.
That was a major intelligence test. And I really thought that they were going to ask for my college diploma back.
You're like, what the heck is this?
Crying in the corner. I promise, Google, I'm smart. I promise.
You're supposed to be simple.
That took longer than installing the plugin.
Google, you're supposed to be simple. You have this one simple interface that just says.
Oh man.
So there wasn't I'm feeling lucky button on that API page. You couldn't just click that and all of them turn on.
I was not lucky at all. And the worst part was I had a places page and a business page that had to be merged first.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I said, I do things the hard way.
I guess so.
So you don't have to. That should be my tagline.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
Let's see here. I have built an e-commerce tool that can be used on any site, allowing you to purchase via text. Huh. Hey, Coder Guy, if you got a second, you want to hop in real quick and tell us about that? Because that'd be pretty awesome. Yeah, let's get him hopped in here.
Hey guys.
All right, tell us about this thing. I'm interested.
So it's e-commerce over text messaging.
Huh.
And you get a phone number. It's like your domain.
Okay.
And you're able to create offers, which are like campaigns. So one of my first customers is called the Banana Chronicles. And they're like a health and wellness magazine. And you text like the banana emoji to them. And then it offers you a t-shirt. And it asks you what size you want and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they're totally free trials.
That is
awesome. So what's this thing called?
It's called Commerce.
I'm giving you props, friend.
Thank you. It's called Commerce.io. It's e-commerce over text messaging. So
how crazy. So where did you get this idea? Like what was the kind of the genesis of it?
Well, So yeah, there are free trials. See, somebody asked me a question. WPmoder. Definitely hit me up. My email is dice, because I'm Daniel Ice, dice at commerce.io.
Very cool.
So basically, I was thinking of building this crazy like ERP OMS system, which is, I've been in e-commerce a while. And so an ERP is an enterprise reporting tool.
Thank you.
And then an OMS is an order management system. And
this should definitely be an acronym-free zone.
Well, okay, so that's how nerdy I was. And somebody's like, well, what if you like could do something over text? And I said, well, what if I did e-commerce over text? And then in that instant, I had the idea because we got in the whole discussion, do you want to build an app for e-commerce, and apps take too long, and how can you go faster and all this kind of stuff. So that's kind of how the idea came about.
Huh.
Wow.
So
get your nerd on. Woo!
So what's the most expensive thing you've seen sold through this thing yet? I mean, is somebody buying like handbags or something, or
right now
what?
It's just t-shirts, t-shirts and coffee.
Oh, cool.
And so coffee, not like at a coffee shop, but like a pound of coffee.
Oh, okay.
Kind of artisanal coffee, or
nice
snotty coffee, good coffee.
That's okay. We like snotty coffee. As long as they're paying for it, who cares?
People could buy plugins. We can do digital goods, all that kind of stuff as well.
Nice.
So from WPmoder, you can choose how you want to deliver the digital goods and stuff like that. But the advantage of the platform is that once you've entered your card one time, it keeps it all saved so that your second and third purchases are just instantaneous.
Very cool.
And people feel secure about that?
Thus far, yeah, they have. So,
that's cool.
So yeah,
that's cool. So how many transactions have you had gone through there so far?
What's up? Lots. I'm talking about Commerce.io. Sorry.
Hi.
This is my wife, Stephanie.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah.
So,
Bridget, Jason.
Yeah, so we're talking about WordPress, and I'm talking about
e-commerce on text.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so I haven't had a ton of transactions right now. It's pretty low volume and stuff. But I've built very large transactional systems in the past, and so could people buy plugins? Do I have an API? The API is in the works, WPmoder, and I'm happy to find some people that want to kind of test it out. But right now, it's pretty straightforward. It's got a Shopify integration as well. So cool. If you have a Shopify store, you install the app, and then you're able to suck down your whole catalog. And then when the orders are placed, they flow right back into your e-commerce store.
So would that mean that the person's looking at, maybe they're looking at a physical catalog, or maybe they're looking at like an advertisement that they're out in the world seeing, that they just type in a code after the phone number, like they send a text message, hello or whatever to it, and you just type in a code and then it goes from there? Or how does that transaction start? So I've developed the ability to send out an email with a link, and the link, if you click it on a phone, will open your text message browser. Okay.
Oh.
And it's pretty cool. I think I'm the first person to do it. There's a lot of things, but if you want to try it out, you can text this number right here, and you just text the banana emoji.
That's awesome.
So funny.
I'm totally doing this. All right, let's see here.
Well, Jason is buying T-shirts. Are there any more questions?
and so there's your banana emoji, right? And it's
awesome.
And if somebody would prefer, I also have. If you go to this on a mobile,
look at all these awesome WordPress people in the circles up here. Hey, thanks for coming in. Less than 24 hours of promo. We appreciate you. While these guys are just doing their thing. Shout outs, major shout outs to y'all.
I'm sitting in my banana.
All right, here we go.
You can hit them in the sun. You can hit them
I'm sending it.
Hi.
And then the banana gets sent.
Not the eggplant.
I didn't send the eggplant.
Now everybody's seeing the phone number.
Now we'll see if it works, right? No.
Exactly.
And it takes a second. The first thing that comes back is a picture, and I'm still optimizing that to be a little faster.
That's pretty cool.
Because I'm not laughing at you. The people in the chat thing are funny. I'm sorry, Daniel. I think what you did is uber cool. And
That
probably good for the demographic we were referring to earlier, affectionately as millennials.
Yes, affectionately.
Well, I mean, because they're not. Listen, when I went to WordCamp San Diego, we went to dinner afterward, and I printed out the maps because I'm 42, and and the 20-year-old in my back seat said, "Why did you print out the map?" I go, "Because then you don't get pulled over." Well, why would a map ever be on a phone? Why would a map ever not be on a phone? Did you know he never knew what a Thomas guide was? So, we forget that the younger people have always had their phone. They've always had their phone. So that's the perfect way to reach them.
So
just saying,
this
like
Barbie shirt. Which size should we buy here?
It's in women's sizes. So
how many X's are in that available? Because let me tell you about women's shirts. If there's an X, we don't want it fitted.
Yeah,
that's why there's an X in the size.
I've been in cosmetics and fashion.
Shirts.
Hey, Devin, if you just come on,
hey, look at this glass I have. Little shameless promotion. I may or may not be tweeting for this logo. Nice. Oh, I have one of those, but it's green. I should have brought that one. I could have been like double handing with Diet Coke.
Awesome.
Oh, look, a real coder is coming on.
What are you calling me? No, he's a real coder.
You
guys. He's totally a real coder compared to me.
No, you guys are awesome. I think that's the coolest thing ever, Daniel.
It is.
Just for the record.
Yeah, we'll make.
I'm just joshing you.
We'll make sure we get that added into the show notes so you can people can take a look at it and check it out. I signed up for it, so I'd be more than happy to take a look at it and see.
Yeah.
Super awesome.
So what do you mean Devin's a real coder? I'm curious.
I'm just kissing his ass.
This guy doesn't eat or sleep. All he does is just writes code all day long.
Crazy. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody has their own thing.
Yeah.
I tweet. That's what I do.
I think Devin doesn't have good internet though, because it's taken a while for him to connect.
He's still loading.
How can he be a coder without good internet? I mean, seriously.
Well, he might be on his phone. This has a mobile app, by the way, if anybody's wondering about the Blab.
There's an app for that?
Yes, there is. Literally. Yeah, I have it on backup always. Because you never know if that Wi-Fi is going to be screwed. Hi, Devin. Thanks for coming on our little show. Oh my God, we can't hear him. This is exactly what happened earlier.
Come on, Devin.
Really enunciate with your lips.
Come on.
Do you have those like cue cards?
No. Come on, Devin.
Holy crap. Oh, look, everybody's colored. See, now that we're 4, we could have sung the Brady Bunch. There's a story. I'm surprised nobody's done it yet. Well, that's what we are. We're the Brady Bunch with the 4 squares. Exactly. I'm sorry, Devin. Poor guy.
Man, that's because he uses Windows. That's his problem. Come on, Devin.
Let's see.
Please.
Are you there?
Yes. Awesome.
Oh, Devin is in the house.
Dude.
Look at all these smart people in one room.
This is what happens when you use Internet Explorer to try to hop on the Blab, man.
I'm on IE7. Does it work on IE7?
I don't know. I'm just joking with you. So how's it going, dude?
It's going well. Do you check out my shirt, 9 Seeds? I love these guys.
Nice.
What do they do?
It took me 5 years to get this shirt, and I've known them for like 5 years. Let's see. They do custom WordPress development. Good guys.
Very cool.
I think John Brown is one of their crew, digital nomad, and you know they've done some great products and great services too.
We were just talking about this commerce.io text messaging based e-commerce. Sounds pretty awesome. And Daniel here makes it, so we're talking a little bit about it.
I would love to hear more about that because.
And then Bridget kept doing this. I don't know why, but she just kept
I don't know. I was just a little thirsty.
You need the phone number at the bottom so they can text to buy it.
Hey, I'm a marketer. What can I say?
This is the next QVC, right?
I'm thirsty.
Well, I want to know, like, how does that text to pay or even work? Like, is it handled through the carrier? I know because Matt Cromwell's been saying, hey, we need to get text to donate. And I'm like, how does it work?
Yeah, so you can do text to donate with Commerce.io, and the deal is there is a one-time registration process. So like if you text if you look in the chat log, there's a phone number 310.
Checking it.
And then if you text banana to that, that's a brand called the Banana Chronicles.
Banana
and they're
emoji,
like,
not the word.
yeah,
I like banana.
I think I set up both just in case. And so it will offer you a product. Oh, Carby. You can text Carby if you don't have the banana emoji. And basically, I built a tech where you can embed a link on mobile devices that will bounce you straight there. So if you check out like the Shopify link, you can see what it looks like on there as well. And so
Hey, Bridget, that's awesome. It only took me a couple of minutes. Dude.
Banana.
Sorry. You can eat it in a salad. You can eat it in a pie. I remember commercials. I'm sorry. Chiquita banana.
Wait, so Daniel, this is your product, your company, commerce.io. It looks sweet. I mean, it's pretty basic landing page, but I know
I just coded it and I just went live like this past week. So it's very new. Thank you. And I'm putting together my marketing deck and stuff like that's what I spent all day doing, and trying to learn how to explain it to people because it is a really new concept. So I'm going to read from my deck just so that I can practice it. so really, Commerce.io.
Give me the elevator pitch. I want to hear the elevator
30 seconds
okay.
and 10.
It's mobile shopping simplified. And what you do is we allow customers to purchase via your text and social channels. So you publish your phone number and what people are supposed to text, and you can do that like on the bottom of your blab. You could print the phone number there. People text into that number. They could text hello or whatever. It shows them the offers that are available. They're able to answer a series of questions.
Time's
it
up.
adds stuff. Go ahead.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, it adds stuff to their cart, and then it has a checkout link, or if their card's already on file, it says, we've got your card on file. Do you want to use it? You say yes, and then it does the transaction. Then the orders are sent. The orders either live in that system, or they can be sent back to your current e-commerce store. We integrate with Shopify out of the box, and we're working on adding other platforms.
Very cool.
So I have another question for you, though, Daniel, about your previous brainstorm about cooking. So why do you want to use Blab over Periscope?
Blab over Periscope? Because I like to talk to people.
If you're just going to be cooking, you're not going to...
It's so nice to have people asking you what you're cooking. And
no, they can ask you on Periscope.
But I'd have to be chopping and be like,
it's doable, dude. It's totally doable. All you got to do is make your own fake Google Glass and just strap this to the side of your glasses there, and then just do your recording. You could do it.
Well, you don't even have to do that because you can use the other side of the camera, and then you can read their. All you have to do is get one of those tripods, and then you'll be able to read all their comments anyway. You just use the front-facing camera.
Well, maybe I'll do a simulcast.
Like Periscope is big for, Blab is more like all of us talking and hanging out. The culture of it.
I really want to make it interactive because it's not just about cooking. It's like the whole
people
philosophy.
Are going to be up there. Your taste sectors are going to be in the Partridge Family right here.
No, it's like discussing the whole idea of whole food plant-based and like the advantages of it and stuff like that.
It's not a cooking show. It's a show about food.
It's a show about cooking and food.
But you're not going to be cooking.
I'm going to be cooking. I did one today. I cooked polenta pizza. I got quinoa and polenta, and I mixed them together. I laid them down in a skillet and preheated my oven to 400. Popped it in there. While that was going, I sauteed some onions, kale, and mushrooms in a little bit of water because I don't use oil.
Okay.
And so you kind of get that saute going. I use fat-free tomato sauce from Trader Joe's.
Okay.
Or pizza sauce. And when the breads were pre-cooked or the polenta was cooked, I I took it out and then I smeared the tomato sauce on it, and then I put that mixture on there, and then I made a second one with.
Well, I wasn't going to cook it, Daniel. I was just trying to suggest. I don't cook. I totally retired from cooking. Okay, so all I'm saying is we're talking about like what kind of the overall theme of this episode really is using the right tool for the right purpose.
Yes.
So and my wife I just was asking if you're just purely going to broadcast, Periscope might be something you might want to double duty it, see where you get more engagement. That's the only value I've had on this show is talking about social media. So I was just going to redirect that little WordPress cooking show back around.
Sorry, I just get talking, and my wife's like, "You're just killing me over here." She's like, "You need an elevator pitch." Like,
yeah, that's the meetup I go to. You have to do your elevator pitch in 10 seconds. So just use a timer. Since you cook, you have one, and then just practice.
Because it takes about, what, a second per floor or something, and about 10 floors?
I don't know.
If you're in a
small building. Yeah, exactly. So, Devin, what have you been working on, man? Tell us some stuff that you've been working on.
So we just pushed out Give 1.3 on yesterday, and it has so many new features. If you see the changelog, it's like a mile long, and all sorts of good stuff on there. Form Field Manager, which is a Give add-on, allows you to create, different customized fields on there. It's going to be really cool. That's getting near ready for beta testing, which is exciting. And other than that, I was fixing out some bugs on some of our other products and, revamping our website contact form a little bit. Some, all sorts of stuff going on here.
Bridget, you were talking about content forms. So what content form are you using? That was the original first question.
So I wish I was using Caldera Forms.
I don't know about that one.
Because I love
Tell me about that one.
Oh, dude. Caldera Forms is a Gravity Forms killer. Don't hate me, WordPress world. I love Gravity Forms, but honestly, check out Caldera Forms. It is free. It is on the WordPress.org repo, and it is really amazing. Like when you try it, you'll love it. And
somebody's giving you a lot of love right now, D. Really? That's all I can say. Your things are going crazy down there. Are you watching that?
They just came out with this add-on called Connected Forms, and this thing is legit. Wow. You can basically create some of the most complex routing of forms that you could imagine. And Josh Pollock's behind it, and David Kramer, his partner, who's in South Africa. The guy can code I don't even know, a workhorse. And
that's crazy coming from you, though.
The guy is amazing.
Because I've seen your commit logs and stuff, dude. You're coding right now and you don't even know it.
Well, hey. I mean, compared to this guy, I'm not. He's better. Let's just say that. And he's in South Africa. I mean, if he really is a person that's great, he might just be a machine that Josh programmed that is creating the stuff. So yeah, actually, I used Gravity Forms. I wish it was Caldera, but essentially it was creating conditional forms and things like that. So
what's if it's free, then what are they doing to make? Are they making any money? I'll just paid add-ons. Okay, so they have a bunch of free add-ons, and then they have, a lot of paid add-ons. Okay, cool. Very cool. I had no idea this existed.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, and honestly, you'll probably hear a lot more about it in the next couple months, 2016.
Very cool. So Caldera Forms. Awesome. So Give is doing good. You're thinking about some type of text-to-give type stuff at some point here?
That's what I really want to find a solution to make it, very easy to text to give. I don't know even how that would work off the top of my head if they text to give and then somehow it goes into a pending state on the plugin within the site. I haven't really looked into it at all, but now that I hopped in and I see this commerce.io, bells start ringing, and things need to happen along that. So Daniel, I might be you up.
Totally. My email's in the chat log, dice@commerce.io. So what's Give?
Give is essentially a donation plugin for WordPress. It's imagine an e-commerce platform built specifically for donations.
What's the payment gateway?
Any payment well, I'm not going to say any payment gateway, but we have several premium gateway add-ons: Stripe, WePay, Authorize.net, PayPal Pro, Dwala. There's all sorts of other requests out there for Kenyan gateways that we haven't even heard of, Indian gateways we haven't heard of, but we'll get to those soon. So we have some of the most popular ones right now, and we're coming out with a lot of the...
I'm sorry. It's weird because I've tried to be serious, but the comments are funny.
See, this is why on WPwatercooler we don't have a chat, because there's no way we would ever get through a 30-minute show.
You guys would never talk about anything.
I mean, we would never get through a 30-minute show by doing that. So
I'm sorry. I got distracted. Oh, look, a squirrel.
It's really interesting because I've done a lot of research on how to go from the web to the text. And so I've been able to do that, and then also been able to send out emails that drive people into their text. And that's some interesting stuff that I've been able to develop. So
do you have time this week to chat?
Looks like somebody's buying somebody coffee.
We're very accessible.
This is crazy.
Where do you live, Devin?
Call me, maybe.
We're down in San Diego.
I'm in LA. Miracle Mile.
Oh, cool. LA crew up there. On a side note, have you seen that movie Miracle Mile? It was like a late 80s cult classic filmed in LA.
No, but there is a Miracle Mile that's up there.
Yeah, that's right, love.
It's a deli, right?
There's a street.
No, it's a street. It's a real
it's a mile on Wilshire.
Yeah.
Oh,
Miracle Mile.
So.
No, you have to see that movie. It's a great movie.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia page right now. Interesting. Cool.
Internet Movie Database, IMDb.com.
So someone on here was asking about a free theme for a podcast website. So, Bridget and I were talking about this earlier, about this whole idea of kind of separating out the functionality side of it to be a plugin, and then the display side of it to actually be the theme. So it's like, where do those two kind of land, in between here? How do you kind of get the best of both worlds? So a paid add-on though. Oh, totally different. Okay. Two different people talking. All right, cool. So the idea is like, I'd look more at a plugin that does that than to try to find a theme that does that, because that's just... Does
SoundCloud do that, Jason? Do you use SoundCloud?
I do use SoundCloud.
Do they integrate with WordPress easily, like an O-embed, something, blah, blah, whatever?
They definitely do O-embed, some whatever.
Look at me throwing out terms like I know what I'm talking about. What?
Yeah,
I went to a class.
They definitely do O-embed, so you can do that. Probably the thing that you're going to have to worry about a little bit more than just that is the fact that it needs to go into an RSS feed. So the RSS feed is the thing that iTunes, iTunes kind of gets all that stuff together to be able to display it. So I'm not sure what's going on over there.
I think the wife's showing them how to...
So here's how that give thing works. Something. So check that out. See?
Just follow them on Twitter. WP.
Sorry. My wife came over to give me my elevator pitch.
Aww, that's so nice of her. Now you have to give her a commission.
Kick down.
Well, this is for the diet, the diet blog. So okay, not for my actual business that I'm trying to live on.
I see.
So yeah.
So WordPress podcast plugins, the one that I use on WPwatercooler is Blueberry's PowerPress podcasting plugin.
I've heard
that's
good
one I
things
use.
about
The
that.
only thing is it works really great if you're using Blueberry as like the hosting provider for it, which would be like SoundCloud. But I use SoundCloud, so for me, I have to kind of go through a couple extra hoops. I need to go find the file, get the file, stick it in. So I've outlined a little bit of that. If you go over to wpmedia.pro, I've done a little bit of research on it. And I think if I remember correctly, I posted about that. So you can go dig around on there and try to find it.
I think you gave a talk at WordCamp Orange County, and it's on the WordPress.tv.
I think I probably did.
Just look up Jason Tucker.
I think, you know what, I
was in that class.
I did do that.
So I know you did. You talked about microphones, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I did. I talked about how
you did. Yes. See, I remember.
I talked about how you can podcast in a closet.
Yes.
No joke. For good sound quality.
For the sound. For the good sound. No, not anything about any demographic. Just about the sound.
Just about the sound. So you can go check that out.
Actually, the ASAP science people do that.
Yeah.
If you watch, I don't know if anybody watches their show. It's super awesome. But they do all the sound. They do all the audio overdubbing in the closet.
Wow, that's cool. Well, you just shove your face into where the clothes are and just start talking. I mean, gets really hot in there, but it works out pretty good.
Don't do it in the summer.
Don't do it in the summer.
Jason, it's time to come out of the closet.
Let's see here.
So I found an interesting plugin tonight. It's called WP Dating.
WP Dating?
Yeah, very interesting. Go to the website, WPdating.com. Shared by I think it needs to be more like Tinder and less like eHarmony, though.
Are you joking? Or is this for real?
No, it's for real.
No, go
No way.
All right, Daniel. So what you need to do is do the text to date.
Yes.
Yep.
Text to date.
It's so funny.
Change the emoji though.
I've been married so long that I don't know anything about dating anymore.
No, I'm good, Jason.
I missed it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, don't use a banana emoji for
Oh
that one.
man, my mom is watching this. Hi, Mom.
Woo! I'm getting hot over here.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm funny.
Jeez, we went from bananas to eggplants to WP dating. All right.
So how long
not
does this go on for? Like all night long or what?
No, because I have to go to bed. I work.
Yeah, I have TV to watch.
I have Netflix. I got a show on Netflix.
Netflix does not watch itself, you know?
Is there a plugin?
That's tweetable.
It's said daily at my work.
Oh man, I had too much fun. I can't believe you asked me. I hope I get to come back.
You are a permanent resident here. We're knocking this out every Thursday. So
I better start learning some stuff. I better start watching WordPress.tv.
Pay the $45 and go buy the WP dating site, and then you can start up a dating website.
I've already been married for 22 years. So
no, this isn't for you to find somebody. This is for other people to find somebody.
Oh, well, I'm not going to test that plugin. Get a single person to do it.
Did you all listen to Dating Ring? The startup podcast where they had the Dating Ring co-founders on there?
Oh, nuh-uh.
No. Okay, so do you know the startup podcast? It's like called Startup. Yeah.
Yep,
and then in season 2, they had two ladies on there that started a dating startup called Dating Ring, and it was very interesting. But I ran into one of their competitors at a LA startup event, and they do high-end dating services for people. You pay them $3,500. It's 6 months.
So that's an escort service.
It's not. It's a matchmaking. I know.
It's a bunch of bots that just.
Well, they
a bunch of bots.
Where's my applause on that one?
No, it's real people. They got a large stake from Match.com, and here's where it got really creepy: is they'll take all your pictures of your past boyfriends or girlfriends, and you put them in, and it does facial recognition software, and then sends you people that look like your past matches.
Oh, it finds your type. That's good for men. It's not good for women. The women need ones that put in your financial information.
Could you upload your portfolios, please?
Could I have the last 7 years of your tax return?
Please include tax returns. Yes, Jen, it is.
Oh,
it was
man,
really
I'm
creepy.
killing myself today.
But they have all of this analytical data about about you, and so it's like, I call it a modern day Yenta service, where you had the Yenta was the person in the community that would bring everybody together, and they did have your last 7 years of tax returns. Well, I mean, the Yentas knew everybody's financial situations. And so the interesting thing is these girls are so good at what they're doing, or these ladies, that they know, like, when a new person moves to town, and then who they'll fit with, and because they know the dating pool so well.
They know people.
And in the $3,500 pre-qualifier kind of like selects who's kind of in the H&R Block dating. Yeah.
So that's a new move for social media managers.
Yeah.
Because they're people brokers.
Yeah.
They do the same thing.
Yeah, but it's just interesting, they're very, very sharp people to talk to and everything. And they had a lot.
Are those the same people as the
No, but they were competitors, and they were they started the same time, and rather than going through like Y Combinator, they got picked up by Match.com's incubator thing. So
you know what I like about you the most, really, Daniel? That you can just not be so serious while we're laughing. That's the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
It's tunnel vision. It's
That's awesome.
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Devin?
Oh, I was saying I really got a lot of value out of that season 2 of the Dating Ring, because they did talk about how they had to kind of pivot the platform. Cash reserve were running out. They were in cash negative territory. They were trying to be the Uber of dating, and then they decided, let's focus down and let's try to be a little more niche. And they're very candid.
They are.
Right?
I think the real problem with the idea of Uber for dating is that Uber is a really reliable product, in the sense that you kind of want.
And dating's not.
Yeah, but you kind of want the same thing every time. You want to get from point A to point B, and you want it to be reliable, and you want it to be safe, right? And then if you have preferences on the quality, you can just slide the quality scale over, pay more. But so the idea of translating like on-demand dating into the other world, there's just so many other biases that are there, whether they're socially acceptable or not, and all this kind of stuff that you have to get around.
Yeah. Hey, Jason, I want to ask you, what other podcasts do you listen to? Do you listen to like Reply All or some of these other popular podcasts?
I do listen to Reply All. Let me pull up my list here, because I don't actually use iTunes. I use Overcast for all my podcasts. So let me pull it up real quick here. So
is that better?
I love it.
Should I be using that?
It's pretty slick. It's a pretty slick interface, and even helps me set up like.
Hey, static! You're making static.
Whoa!
making static.
Can you link?
Yeah.
Really? That was rad.
Somebody is.
Oh, okay.
This needs to stop right now.
Is it still doing
Somebody's
it?
going in timeout.
Is it still doing it?
We're good.
I think you about broke that.
It went full on robot.
It was pretty crazy.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's okay now. Just keep it away from the mic.
Don't do that again. Put it in another room.
It's the new iPhone. It shouldn't be doing this. Okay, so
it's a feature, not a bug.
Here's my list. So I listen to a lot of stuff on Relay.fm, which is it's a great network of podcasts. But I listen to Connected, which is an Apple podcast. I listen to the 5 Minute Geek Show, Freakonomics, Isometric, the Mac Observer's Mac Geek Gab. That's not a lot of Mac podcasts, because I'm a systems administrator at work. So Planet Money, Pop Culture Happy Hour, Reply All. My favorite, Robot or Not. If you haven't watched that, you should, or listen to that. That one's a pretty good one.
Do you listen to all these on a regular basis?
Yeah. I have an 8-mile commute. It takes at least 30 minutes to get to work. I listen to the Talk Show with John Gruber, which is like a 3-hour podcast. So that one takes a while to get through. And
do you listen to it at a faster speed?
Usually like 1.25%. Yeah, just a little bit, just to where it takes out like the spaces in between.
I haven't tried any faster speed.
No, listening to the Ask Gary V show.
No.
What about TED Radio Hour?
I've listened to TED stuff, but I usually just watch it. I don't listen to it. Yeah. But if you check out this this app. The thing that's neat about it is that when you're listening to it, let me see here. There's a thing on here where it says playback, or playback effects. So they have smart speed, which actually cuts out the gaps in between the words. So it's not as, and then there's, everything's just like, and then there's, like, it's pretty fast how that goes through. And then the other thing is it does a voice boost. So when you're listening to somebody who's really quiet, it actually boosts their voice up and normalizes it. So
helpful.
Everybody's at the same level.
Can you link to that in the comments?
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I listen to James Bond podcast and Gary Vee, and I love Green Guide letters. So those are totally different. And I just started listening to The Kitchen Sink.
Oh yeah, Adam Silver's great. You know, he's a funny dude. Did you know Snoop Dogg has a podcast?
That's not in my world.
That's a good demographic.
I didn't even. That's totally.
What are the topics?
Rolling Blizzies. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm more of a music.
So I've got Exponent is my favorite podcast right now.
Exponent.
It's a weekly, and it's by the guy Ben. He runs Stratechery. It's a really it's a really interesting weekly podcast. A16Z, e-commerce fuel, giant robots smashing into other giant robots.
Nice.
It's a coder podcast. Startup podcast, Startups for the Rest of Us, and that's like a bootstrap podcast. Very interesting. Not like VC. Zen Founder podcast. It's about startups and
Zen Founder.
Founder.
Because he already found his Zen.
No, it's how to keep your Zen while being a founder and how to balance your family.
Oh,
and all
founder,
that
like
founder,
the startup guy.
Yeah, yes, and the Rich Roll podcast. It's a health podcast. Not Rick Roll, Rich Roll.
Ooh,
never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. I actually like that song, and that shows my age.
Bridget, how many times have you been Rickrolled?
See, I didn't even know about Rick rolling. I actually liked that song when it came out.
So you were like, "Yay, this is a good thing."
It was so cool. It was so cool when it came out. I mean, there's nothing like that. We all liked those shoulder pads and everything, and he just had that really suave, super dreamy, whatever. Now people are going to start making fun of me. I better just stop.
They will. Don't worry about it. Oh, they will now. No, just
That's okay. Well, if you're entertained, my work here is done.
Yeah. So, Bridget, that's about it, right? You want to close this up?
We talked about almost every single thing we could have, except for how awesome Twitter is and how much I love it and how much I think you should use it.
So, Bridget, tell us where we can find you.
Oh my God! Just Google Bridget Willard on the first 20 pages of my name.
Awesome.
Winning by volume.
See, if you Google Jason Tucker, it's me or this black dude that plays football. And
that's too bad.
That's
you need to out volume. You need to out volume. That's how you win. The loudest
Jason,
person wins,
football.
just like on podcasts.
I could not play football. I can button mash on like Madden, but that's about it.
Wait, are you part of our bench press group on Facebook? It's basically a WordPress folks that are all dedicated. It's kind of like your geek page, remember that we were trying to get going?
Oh yeah,
it's like that, but for working out, it's the same thing. You should join.
Oh, yeah, hook me up.
Bench
I'll
press.
be more than
That's
happy
funny.
to take a look at it.
Hashtag
And
bench
then not work out.
Like, yeah, I don't know about all that stuff.
Wait.
Yeah. I love that.
2 reps.
All right, folks, we're closing up shop. So make sure you go over to the website, WPwatercooler.com. You can take a look at this episode as well as the weekly episodes that happen on WP Watercooler every Monday at 11 o'clock Pacific in the morning. So make sure you go check that out. And then we also are going to be doing this every Thursday as long as Bridget will actually commit to doing this. It sounds like she might want to do it.
Yeah, it's in my calendar forever.
Awesome.
Except for not Thanksgiving, I guess. So.
Exactly.
All right, folks.